was born as a Muslim for a conservative Islamic family. My father is one of the founders of Hamas organization. Hamas was founded in 1987 by 7 people. My father was one of them, with 2 main goals. To destroy the state of Israel and to build an Islamic state on the rubble of the state of Israel. As a son of a top Hamas leader, as a Muslim, all you could hear is the truth of Islam. It's your language, it's your identity, it's your culture, it's everything. It's your business. Working in the world of intelligence for more than 10 years, I learned what deception really means. As son of Hamas leader, I learned a lot about Islam, and I went to an Islamic Sharia school. I memorized 1/3 of the Quran, and I spent many years studying the meanings of the Quran. Average Muslim don't understand the language of the Quran. It's not the street language. It's a language that Muhammad used 1400 years ago, and that required from me many hours in prison and outside of prison, in school and at home, to study the real nature of Islam. Allah, the God of Islam, does not like non-Muslims. I think He does not like even Muslims. It's very hard to see the grand picture. And most of us, we rather to stay in our comfortable zones. We don't like challenges. Even when we know that it's a prison and it's a cave, we rather to stay where it's comfortable. In my life and in this journey of freedom, this journey of growth, ascending in the world of intellect, I choose not to be in comfortable zones.
My name is Mosab Hassan Yousef. I'm the oldest son of Sheikh Hassan Yousef, one of the founders of Hamas organization. I became a Jesus follower for the standards and for the logics of Christianity. I saw the Quran and Islam as the law that would help humans to improve their lives and have justice, have peace, and be a better people. And through my experience in Islam, I didn't see that happening, and I don't see it happening in the future, period. Now, after reading the Bible and starting to understand Christianity as not a religion and a bunch of rules, as a message of love, that all of it leads to the word love as the most important word of the Bible, and God Himself is love. It's a big problem for a Muslim to become a Christian, and this is not an easy thing, especially for somebody in my case, in my situation. My father made the revolution of Islam. He served that cause. My entire family had to suffer of missing him for many years in Israeli prisons for this cause, the cause of Islam. I had a huge sacrifice to do, to turn my back to Islam, to lose my family, and it's just like you woke up from a bad dream, basically, and you don't want to wake up, because when you woke up to the reality of who you are and what you should be, you are really scared. You have lots of things to face. My message today to Muslims, to Jewish people, even to Christians: God can be between us anytime, any moment, and He can appear between us, through our friends, through our people, and we still will not recognize Him and recognize His work. This doesn't mean that He's not existed. This doesn't mean that He's not between us. He is between us. He's working in the most complicated and the darkest situations, while everybody thinks that there is no God, because this is the situation where governments, technology, seculars, everybody failed. He's making a big, huge progress. It's unseen for them, but I am one of the examples.
A desire for coexistence and peace, or a covert commitment to the ultimate elimination of the nation of Israel? Well, our next guest is here to expose the shocking truth about the terrorist group Hamas. As the son of one of its founders, he worked inside the organization as a double agent for the Israeli intelligence organization Shin Bet, providing inside information that averted numerous terrorist attacks and saved countless innocent lives. Here to share his gripping story of terror, betrayal, and intrigue is the author of Son of Hamas, Mr. Mosab Yousef.
I grew up in a very difficult environment. Lots of violence, occupation, bloodshed on daily basis. I was born for one of the founders of the Muslim Brotherhood, and later on one of the founders of Hamas organization in the West Bank, who started the Islamic Sunni revolution in the Middle East. And all of us know what Hamas is. So that was the environment that I grew up in. I had personal reasons, ideological reasons, and political reasons to hate Israel. At some point, I wanted to take revenge from the state of Israel. And later on, I became friends with Israel. And I worked and risked my life for the safety and security of this amazing little country on the Mediterranean Sea.
Amazing story. So from the time you were little, did you hate the Jewish people? Did you hate Israel?
As I said, I had many different reasons. The most important reason behind this hate, that the God I used to worship does not like the Jewish people. Allah does not like Jews. And Muhammad, his prophet, doesn't like Jews. He cleansed them from the Arab Peninsula. And this is enough reason for Palestinians and Arabs to hate Israel for. I had personal problems because my father was arrested 16 times in a row. And I had to take responsibility for my family when I was 10 years old. So for the people who kidnapped my father from our home, I did not like them. And political reasons, because occupation and all the propaganda in the Palestinian territories that everybody considers Israel as an enemy. And I personally witnessed lots of bloodshed in the confrontations between the Israeli soldiers and the Palestinian fighters in the streets.
Well, let's talk about your dad. You speak about him in the book with great admiration and love. That's very clear, that he really has a heart for people. Sheikh Hassan Yousef. Talk about how he became one of the founders of Hamas.
Well, this is a long journey that he started since he was 12 years old. His dad, my grandfather, was an imam for 40 years. And my father loved what my grandfather was doing. And he wanted to follow his steps. His understanding of Islam was not complete. In fact, I am not sure that he understands Islam and what it's all about today 100%. They grew up in that environment. They thought in Islam and religion there could be a solution. And the goal is a noble goal, to liberate their people, to bring them justice and happiness by establishing an Islamic state. This is a heavenly promise, and as a leader of that community, or a young leader, he wanted to make the change happen through Islam. Unfortunately, this did not work in the past. Muhammad couldn't bring justice and happiness to humanity 1400 years ago, and all his followers and the Islamic leaderships through the history could not do this. They failed one after another. They brought destruction, and they brought destruction first of all to themselves, and they have been in captivity of their own religion, their own God for 1400 years. And today my father is repeating the same mistake, and I think this is the time to help people like my father, like Hamas, like the Muslim Brotherhood, to understand that Islam is not the solution for you as Arabs, first of all, second for humanity in general.
So, Mosab, help us to understand, at the root of this ideology, is it fundamentalist Islam and Allah, who, by the way, incidentally, is not the God of Israel, right? There's
Absolutely
the idea
not.
that it's the same God, it's all one God, Allah, Jesus, the God of Israel. It's not true, is it?
Absolutely not. In fact, the God of the Quran does not exist. He's only exists in Muslims' minds. And the God of the Quran is not the same God as the God of the Bible. Simply, if we personalize the God of the Bible, put him in a person, and personalize the God of the Quran and put him in a person, we're going to find two different personalities. And this is what really matters. We can understand the God of the Bible through the person of Jesus Christ. And to be able to understand the God of the Quran, there is only one way: to understand him through the behavior of the Prophet of Islam, Muhammad. And there is a huge difference between Muhammad and the Messiah, Jesus Christ. Islam, I personally don't distinguish between radical Islam and moderate Islam, because I don't believe that moderate Islam exists.
This is a very, very important point, and of course goes against political correctness. Say it again and why you believe that's the case.
I believe because I understand the real nature of Islam. I understand its language. I understand its Quran. I understand the behavior of its prophet. And I know that Islam was built to conquest the world, no matter the price is. And this was clear through the behavior of Muhammad, what he did. He carried many campaigns, military campaigns that caused the death of hundreds of thousands of people. And this is what Muslims have been doing against each other, first of all. Second, against the others who don't believe in their religion.
So there is no moderate Islam?
There is no moderate Islam, but there is moderate Muslims, and there is fundamentalist Muslims. Muslims in general are moderate people. They're not fanatics, they're not terrorists. Even the terrorist ones, they're not terrorists in their nature. They're just following the steps of their God. Most Muslims are traditional Muslims. They have no idea what Islam is all about. They read the Quran, they don't understand it. The modern Muhammad that they follow is different than the Muhammad who lived 1400 years ago. They create their images of their God and the images of their prophet that fits in this century, but this does not change the context of the Quran and the Hadith and the Sunnah. Islam has a couple of verses of tolerance, and that was a stage of Muhammad's life when he was weak, when he didn't have power. Once he had power, he had no negotiation, no tolerance, no patience with anybody who opposite him.
So you're saying there is no such thing as moderate Islam, that the Quran is very clearly employs violence?
Absolutely not.
Okay, now the Muslim Brotherhood's platform is that they're accomplishing their means for Sharia law through peaceful means. Not true, correct?
First of all, those guys of the Muslim Brotherhood, I tell them, why you coming here to the United States to fight for the Sharia law? You control Gaza Strip by your Hamas organization. Why don't you have a Sharia law in Gaza Strip from the first place? The Muslim Brotherhood understand, and everybody who has brain above his shoulders, that the Sharia law is a sick system. What is the Sharia law? This is why we're saying we need to expose the real nature of Islam. And what is the Sharia law? The Sharia law, for example, if you break an Islamic law, there is a punishment. If you're a thief, for example, the punishment of a thief to cut their hands in public. So tomorrow, what they're trying to do, they want what? The American Constitution to be cancelled, and we work the Sharia law, bring people, a thief in New York City to Times Square and cut his hand in Times Square, for example. This is what the Sharia law is. So do they really understand what they're talking about? I doubt. And if they understand, they think that this is justified because it's by the authority of their God. So simply, we tell them, we don't need your Sharia law. Keep it for yourself, and if you really want it, go back to your countries and fight for it there.
Wow, very good. Mosab, let's talk more about the conflict between Israel and the Palestinians. What we hear in the United States is we just want to live in coexistence side by side with the Palestinian state. Give us back land, there'll be peace. True or not true? Is it possible?
First of all, what land they're talking about? There was no Palestine ever. In history, there was no Palestine. There was no Palestinian state. And Palestinians are trying to fit themselves in like somebody who's trying to fit a camel in the needle's eye. Israel is a democratic country. There are Palestinians who live under the Israeli rule. They have rights better than any Arab country. We look at Arab countries and its political systems. All we see corruption, all we see oppression, and people being enslaved. And why to add one more system like this on a very, very small area that is Israel. Israel has a historical right to that land, more than Palestinians, more than Arabs, more than Muslims. And I think that Palestinians need to look for a better life instead of fight till the last blood drop, trying to establish a state that I don't see that will bring them happiness anyway.
Well, do you see a solution to this Middle East conflict?
Well, there is a solution when people start to believe in coexistence and believe in forgiveness, unconditional forgiveness, unconditional love. There will be peace. Peace is a state of mind. It's not a state of political borders that Palestinians are trying to create. In fact, I'm afraid that a Palestinian state will bring destruction to the Palestinian people and will cause them more sufferings. I don't care about a Palestinian state. I care about the children of Gaza, the children of the West Bank, to have good education, to have freedom, to have a better life. This is what really matters to me. Why do I care about another state? We have enough governments and we have enough states that we are really tired of.
Very good. Hey, let's go back to your story, because this is not the way you always talked. You told us earlier of your childhood, your father arrested 16 times, you were raised with an ideology that hated Israel, and you had a lot of hate yourself. What changed, and how?
Well, simply Jesus Christ values and the principles of loving my enemies, first of all. Second, forgive them unconditionally and loving them unconditionally. These were the principles that changed my life. And it was a big challenge for me to be able to make this happen. It was much more difficult than carrying a gun and fighting Israel.
Indeed.
In fact, fighting and carrying a gun was a coward thing to do. It was not a real challenge for a man, but to be able to forgive somebody who hurt you in the past, hurt your family, and most of the time I thought that they meant to hurt us, but they were doing just their job and they were trying to protect their state. That was it. So the challenge was to be able to forgive. And I believed in Jesus Christ's philosophy of loving our enemies. And I could get out of my captivity of hatred and revenge to be able to love them. And today we are a family. I have a Jewish mother, I have Jewish brothers, and I have, in
That's
fact,
fantastic.
More than, yeah.
You know, and I think that all of us watching in the audience, studio audience and on television, really applaud your courage to take a stand for the Lord like this, because it's been with great sacrifice. It seems to me this is God's peace plan for the Middle East, the change of heart that Jesus, Yeshua, brings into a person's life. And you've seen that in your own life. You're a living testimony of that, aren't you?
Yes, you know, Jesus Christ's teachings are very clear, and they are very available to everybody. It's a calling to every individual, regardless of their race, color, or nationality. Here is the principle of unconditional love. Can you carry it? It's a difficult task. But if you obey and if you take the challenge, it's going to change your life, and it's going to change many other lives in your surroundings. And it's not about, you know, as some people think, that this is supernatural. It's logical. It's absolutely available for everybody. But are we willing to accept the challenge of loving our enemies? So this is his philosophy, and I still struggling with that. Sometimes I cannot forgive my friend or my brother in Christ. But I do as much as I can, and I know what the standards are.
And it's a challenge that we're challenged with throughout the Scriptures. Let me back up a little bit, because if I remember the chronology correctly, you started to work with the Shin Bet, the Israel's domestic intelligence wing, before you had this experience with the Lord, correct?
Correct.
So talk about how this relationship came about a little bit, your experience in actually beginning to work for the Israeli government.
Yes, the beginning of that was not a very peaceful beginning. I was tortured in an Israeli facility in West Jerusalem for 3 months. And during that time, they offered me to work for them. And I agreed. And I had only one goal in my mind, to take revenge from them and infiltrate the Shin Bet and work against them. Then after that, I was transferred to a Palestinian, Israeli prison, but was ruled by Palestinian factions, especially Hamas, where Hamas was torturing their own people. And I was shocked by that reality. When I was released from prison, I learned that all the people who were tortured by Hamas in prison were victims. They had no relationship with the Israeli Shin Bet. We started an awkward relationship with the Israeli Shin Bet. And 3 years after, I learned a lot about our problems. I learned a lot about myself. And we became simply friends. After that, I got the chance to read the Bible and attend a Bible study where I found the verse and the command of Christ to love our enemies. So practically I was in a relationship with my enemies, and I dig deeper and deeper in Christianity and Jesus Christ's teachings that changed my life forever.
Well, talk more about that, because this is so fascinating. There's such a dramatic change that you experience in your pilgrimage to find the truth. Talk about encountering this Christian friend, going to this Bible study a little bit. I just want people to know about this. It's incredible.
Yeah. Well, as I said, I was in a relationship with the Israeli Shin Bet, and you know, as a Muslim coming from, let's say, a very conservative Muslim family that is leading the Islamic Revolution, as I said, to be in a relationship with the infidels, the ones who are not accepted by Allah, by Palestinians, by Hamas people, and nobody knew about that relationship. I didn't do it because there was any interest to be in this type of relationship. It was very dangerous. If I was caught, I would get killed. But I agreed to go, as I said, because my plan was to be a double agent. Then after that, I found that we were living big lies as Palestinian people. And I decided to learn more and more to the level that we became friends. Now, when I was invited to the Bible study, I said, I've been in this weird relationship with the Israeli Shin Bet, and now finally we became friends. And I learned a lot from those infidels, considered infidels by Muslims. So when I was invited to Bible study, I said, this is a great opportunity also to see what the other infidels, Christians, have to offer.
Were you already convinced, did you already see the flaws with Islam, or was your encounter with the New Testament, with Jesus, what opened your eyes to that?
At the beginning, you know, it took me a while to accept Christ as Lord and Savior. That didn't happen overnight. I had to study for 6 years, study Christianity, study the Bible, Judaism, Buddhism, and many other religions, including restudying Islam. And 6 years after, I decided that Jesus Christ was the only God that I want to have in my life.
Fantastic. You talk in the book, Mosab, about telling your father in particular about this, discovering your relationship with Shin Bet, becoming a believer. I know it had to be very, very hard. Being born Jewish and telling my parents and their rejection was difficult enough for me. Can you talk about that experience?
Yes, I think nobody wants to disappoint the hearts of his parents or her parents. Not only a Muslim, not only a Jewish person. I think everybody wants their parents to be proud of them. And but this brings us to the problem that is most Middle Easterns living in its captivity, which is shame and guilt and fear. These are the factors that enslaving people in the Middle East. It's why they have natural resources, human resources, and they cannot make any progress. No social progress, no any other progress in their lives. And I know that I love my father, and I know that he loves me very much. Even he had to disown me publicly to protect himself and protect my family. But I know deep in his heart he cannot disown me. I cannot disown him. And I had to take a stand for the truth, even if this would bring lots of shame on myself, first of all. I'm considered as a traitor in the eyes of people who I love. And I had to cross that line to destroy the wall of shame and to get out of its captivity.
Wow. Just something you wrote in the postscript that I want to read. It is my greatest hope that in telling my own story, I will show my own people, Palestinian followers of Islam, who have been used by corrupt regimes for hundreds of years, that the truth can set them free. I tell my story as well to let the Israeli people know that there is hope. If I, the son of a terrorist organization dedicated to the extinction of Israel, can reach a point where I not only learn to love the Jewish people, but risk my own life for them, there is a light of hope. I wanted to read that on camera. It's incredible. Since the book's come out, as I said, the book was fascinating, powerful. What's happened since the book has come out? What's it been like? Life been like for Mosab Yousef?
Well, the eve of release of Son of Hamas, I was disowned by my father, I said publicly. And since then, lots of Muslims are not very happy with the book and my stand for the truth. But lots of people found hope, and lots of people got the chance to learn about their lives. As I said, I was in the heart of Hamas organization. Not every Palestinian knows about Hamas. In fact, Hamas members don't know about their own organization. On the other hand, I was part of the Israeli Shin Bet, and both of them are very secretive organizations, underground organizations. I was in a very unique position to see the picture in a different way. Today, I'm exposing the truth to both sides. In fact, the book is published in Arabic for free. 3 days ago it was, and now it's available to be downloaded. We don't want any Arab or Muslim money. We tell them just please read the truth, learn about your conflict, learn about your culture, about your religion, about your God through this story. And we hope that this will help build new bridges of understandings between nations.
I hope so too. I really do. What's in store for you? How can we pray for you?
Well, you can pray that God give me strength to keep going this difficult journey, and at some point to reunite with my family.
Well, and we will be praying for that. I'm asking all of you to remember Mosab Hassan Yousef in prayer. The book is The Son of Hamas. It's a gripping account of a man's life being transformed, published by Salt River, which is part of Tyndale, and really, really encourage you to get it. And especially if you have a Muslim friend, read it and then give it to them. Mosab, thank you for being on Jewish Voice today.
Thank you. Thank you.